Well, this is where it all started. I'm Joseph. This is Input English. This is where a lot of my videos have been filmed. The idea of launching this channel actually was hatched during the 2 years that I was learning Spanish with Comprehensible Input. I decided to launch this channel because it appeared that there was a need for content for people trying to improve their English. I saw some beginner material, and of course there's plenty of native content, which for language learners is hard to understand. And so I perceived a gap in the Comprehensible Input content at the intermediate level. A lot of people worldwide have studied English in school. A lot of people have put years into Duolingo. And both of those groups need the same thing. They need a lot of comprehensible input so that they can move their level in English up to proficiency. Admittedly, when I started making videos, I had no idea how to do it. During the pandemic, a lot of us made videos as a workaround for meeting in person. I can remember the first videos I made were during a class I was taking online. I was baffled by the software and by the concepts. But looking back, I learned a lot from that experience. That is, during that phase, I made a lot of mistakes, and those mistakes turned out to be great learning experiences. I was fortunate to get some good editing software, which is available free online. I use the DaVinci Resolve software. Now, this is not an advertisement for that software. It's available online for free, or if you want added features, you can pay the $300 to get the studio version. Many of us think that is worth it. But again, I'm not advertising their product. I'm just telling you what I use. I use DaVinci. A lot of people make content with cell phones, and they turn out good material. Very few of the videos I published on this channel came from cell phone. There were a few, but not very many. I bought an action camera and learned how to use that, and that's what we're using right now. Action cameras are great, but they have their limitations. Most of my videos are made with a large Sony mirrorless camera in the Alpha series. I don't think it's all that important what sort of camera one uses to make content. The content's more important than the camera. Now, for language learning, the sound is important. And early on, I realized that I was not well set up for good sound. So I bought this wireless microphone. There are several brands that are quite good. Again, I don't advertise products on this channel, but if you're going to make content and post it online, it is reasonable. It is a good idea to have a good microphone. The microphone native to the camera is almost never adequate to make good videos. We are in the Vona Lake Park, which is part of the Santa Clara County Park System. It's in the town of Los Gatos in Northern California, south of San Jose. I'm up in a corner of the park called the Pepper Tree Group Picnic Area. And as I turn around slowly, you can see they have a lot of picnic tables, and they have a couple of fire pits so that you can cook food. This group picnic area is to be used by reservation. If someone wants to use it, they're supposed to contact the park and reserve the area for their use. But I don't come here for picnics. I come here to make videos because I don't want my videos to be boring, shot in a studio. During the winter, I was relegated to shooting videos in the studio because it was really cold and raining out here, not conducive to making good video content. So let's walk a little bit and let me show you some of the sights around here that are fun. This has been a very positive experience for me making these videos out in the park. The park is its own community and its own ecosystem. I've seen a lot of interesting things while filming these videos. We're now coming into the vicinity of one of my favorite trees, and this tree is featured prominently in a lot of my videos. Over my shoulder. For some reason, I just like the shape and size of that tree, and it is featured prominently in a lot of my videos. Many times while sitting in this area right here, I have seen gophers come up and peek out of their hole, looking at me, looking at their surroundings, and pushing a little additional dirt out of their burrow. I attributed all these holes in the ground to gophers. I knew they were gopher holes, but of course I was mistaken. The other day I was in a location not too far from here, easy walking distance, and discovered that a lot of what I thought were gopher holes were actually inhabited by ground squirrels. Those were definitely gray squirrels, but they were living underground. Now, this was very foreign to my thinking. I always thought of gray squirrels as living in trees and nesting in trees. It never occurred to me that they would burrow underground. So now I have to reconsider that some of these gopher holes are actually burrows for ground squirrels. You learn something every day if you're paying attention. In this location, right where I'm standing, I've seen a number of birds. A great blue heron came in, landed, walked around, and I got some video footage. One day I was sitting here making a video, and a vulture came in and landed. I didn't make any video of the vulture while he was flying low to the ground and close to me. I wasn't quick enough to do that, but I did get some video footage of the vulture on the ground, looking around, looking for something interesting. Each day when I come out here, I need to navigate a list of questions in my head as to where it would be ideal to make videos. Considerations include the amount of road noise, the presence of other people, and the direction of the light. I don't want to be squinting because of the sun in my face, so I tend to film in a shaded area. But sometimes the background is bathed in strong sunlight and may be very bright on the video. Some of this I can fix with the editing software. Sometimes that's a little hard to fix. This tree behind me here is a rain tree, and it has some interesting blossoms. These are last year's blossoms that have turned to seed pods. And the reason this rain tree appeals to me is simple. First of all, it's a beautiful tree. And second of all, when I was a little kid, first, second, third grade, our school had a big rain tree in the playground. We weren't allowed to climb on it. Every day when I went to school as a little kid, I was greeted by a much bigger version of this kind of tree, a rain tree. In this area where we are standing right now, it is common for one of the local ladies to bring little children for teaching. To my eye, there are 2 teachers of preschool children who use this park regularly. It is very common to run into these 2. Each of these teachers has a handful of students with them each day. Could be 6, could be 10. And during their sessions, the teacher is showing them a lot of interesting things that the children need to learn about. Acorns, bugs, flowers, plants. Both groups do a lot of exploration of the natural environment as presented here in the park. This is a very safe location for that kind of teaching. This is not a dangerous place. It's not a jungle or a dense forest. I took a quick hike from that first site to this. This is the Lakeview picnic area. And this is a place that I've made a lot of videos. So as I turn around, there are 2 large plane trees behind me. And when I first arrived here, I found these trees to be very picturesque, very attractive. And so I put them in a lot of my videos early on. During the winter, all those lovely leaves turn brown and fall off. And I must admit, those beautiful trees became very unsightly during the winter. So I didn't make many videos near them. But now in the spring, the foliage has come back and it's lovely again. Here you can see we have quite the proliferation of Canada geese. There are a lot of geese in this area. These geese are not very frightened of humans. So this is an adult, you can see in the frame there. But these are fledglings. So if you look at these geese, they're smaller. They're almost all gray. And they are the new geese that were born this year. They hatched from eggs. And I have video of them when they were chicks. Now they're starting to sprout feathers and would be best described as fledglings because shortly they will be able to fly. These geese eat constantly. I've just walked down the hill from that Lakeview picnic area and I'm now on a very flat, large meadow. Right now it's rather full of geese. And you can see behind me is the lake. These geese are not pugnacious. I can remember the first time I encountered a goose as a kid, it was in a barnyard setting. And the goose was very pugnacious. The goose was super aggressive and basically attacked the children. It was super unpleasant. It was frightening because compared to the size of the child, a goose is pretty big. We were not used to that kind of aggressive treatment from animals. These Canada geese are rather docile. There are some people, not very many, but there are some people who come out and feed these geese. Mostly the geese just graze on the little bugs and things they find in the grass. We can observe that these Canada geese are very used to being around humans. It is fun making videos in this setting because sometimes an idea will get into the head of one or more of the geese and they'll take off in a little flock or a big flock and make a lot of noise. Occasionally that footage gets into the video, but for the most part, since it's not pertinent to language learning, it gets edited out. As you probably know, the Input English channel is very new. The first videos were published on August 7th of 2024. In the 21st century, when you're trying to learn something new, oftentimes one goes to online sources for advice, for information. I certainly did that. I didn't know how to make videos. The advice I got regarding starting a YouTube channel was to publish at least 3 videos. And that made sense. If I start a channel, the Input English channel, and someone clicks on it and they see 1 video, then their normal response, their reasonable conclusion would be that this channel doesn't have much to offer. So it made sense to publish 3. And then I thought, well, perhaps 5 would be better than 3. And then maybe 10 would be better than 5. And then maybe 15 would be better than 10. You can see where this is going. I kept increasing my goal for how many videos to publish at the very beginning because I wanted to garner the understanding that the Input English channel was real, that there was something here of value. So this escalation of numbers continued until August 7th. On August 7th, I had completed 41 videos. And on that morning, I flipped the switch on every last one of them, launching the channel. The advice one receives about beginning a channel is that the first few days and weeks are fairly disappointing. Nobody knows you're there. The computer, the algorithm, doesn't know what to do with your videos. And so everyone starts out slow. I was actually surprised how quickly it picked up. I was surprised how quickly I wound up with 1,000 subscribers. Over the past 10 months, I have published over 350 videos. The reason for doing that was to build the video library. I knew from my learning experience in Spanish that having a lot of content available so that when I sat down, I didn't have to look for something to watch. I didn't have to spend my time searching for content. I just went to a site that had a lot of videos and just played them one after another. And then when I finished the videos in their series, I started over and watched them again, weeks or months later. I very rarely watch a video a second time immediately after watching it the first time. I like to use the power of spacing as described by cognitive psychologists. If you watch a video and then put it aside for weeks or months, the next time you watch it, you'll pick up a lot more. The learning is increased if you use spacing. With comprehensible input, it appears that spacing is the most useful tool you can use to increase your learning of the material. On the far end of this meadow, there are some little children playing, and on closer inspection, they're being supervised by their teacher, one of the 2 teachers who uses park as their classroom. So this is where it all started. This is where a lot of videos for the Input English channel were recorded. I invite comments below, and if you like videos like this, be sure to click on this one next. See you soon.